tie down these bigger ones on a 200, Tiemco 200, or this is a 2302. I kind of like the way it curves, but you can do them on 100, just some kind of a dry fly hook. And what I do with this when I'm fishing it, just like the sparkle done, I basically just grease the wing. I don't grease the whole thing usually. I don't always want it. This one in particular, I just want it to kind of hang like that. And if you ever seen calabatus shucks and you put that thing in the water, man, it looks just like a calabatus shuck. I've whacked them on like a bidwell. Oh man, that thing just, they eat that thing big time. So it's really effective. I think Herb Burton and Trinity Fly Shop came up with that for Lewiston.
Yeah.
Years ago.
Yeah.
Years and years
20
ago.
some years ago.
Yeah, yeah. So, I'm just going to start my thread about a third of the way back. My tails are, what is it, Amherst pheasants? It's a white one, the tippets?
Yes.
This is Amherst pheasant that I've dyed olive. It makes a cool calabatus tail because their gills are in their tails and they kind of got those dark spot on the tails. These things
Do you dye it yourself?
Yeah, yeah. I just dyed it all. They're white. What are these? The tippet feathers off the neck?
Yes, those are neck feathers. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the tippets.
Mark just takes a marking pen.
Yeah, I was going to say you could see. Yeah.
Same thing.
Marking pen.
All I have is golden pheasant.
Well, these are white. They look just like golden pheasant, only they're white instead of orange. So.
Well, actually, they're completely different shape. Those are
the
golden pheasant is flat.
Yeah, these are kind of rounded, but.
But yeah, you can use a marker.
Yeah.
Waterproof marker and olive to run it across. And the marker won't dye it real dark. It'll dye it about the same color George's.
Yeah, I think he uses like a chartreuse marker. I'm going to take like 3 of these. Because that's what calabatus has, 3 tails. But for these calabatus, this tail works really good. So I'm just going to tie that down part way. Take a little copper wire here. Okay, so I'm going to tie this copper wire in on the bottom, toward the back.
Is that a wilderness unlimited property? Or?
Yeah, yeah. That was my winter fishing grounds, man, for midges and stuff. They kind of kept raising my dues that they weren't supposed to do, so I kind of got pissed off and just hacked. Okay, so I got my wire rib tied in, I got my tails tied in. So I'm going to use 2 different colors of dubbing. And calabatus nymphs take on the color of whatever the weeds are. So in manzanita, the weeds are kind of a goldy olive color. So I've got this Antron dubbing that I kind of mixed up. I kind of like. Kind of sparkles. It's kind of a pain in the butt to use. It's kind of doesn't want to stick, but it looks pretty good. So I just kind of get it on there the best I can to get it locked in. Make one turn, lock it in, and then once you get it locked in, then it'll hang on your thread. When you're dubbing works better on flat thread than twisted thread. So if you spin your thread and get it flat, that way you can slide your dubbing. When your thread is twisted, then the dubbing wants to stick and you can't move it back and forth. So just a little trick when you're doing it.
Is this one in the newsletter?
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah. There's the Buglite. It is in the newsletter. It's the first flying.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, we were drinking copious amounts of beer there on the green too.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna dub this halfway up for just a touch more maybe. And then I'm gonna wrap my rib. And you can counter wrap it or you can just wrap it at whatever suits your fancy.
rib that weighs the back end, which allows it to sit at that angle. Jeremy
Yeah, it
was
makes it a
talking
little
about.
tougher too, you know, just, although I want this dubbing to, I kinda want this dubbing buzzed out.
But-
Take my little handy dandy Velcro thing here and I'm gonna rag this out a little bit, I want this a little buzzed out. Trim it down a little bit. Okay, so deer hair for this. Here again, just deer hair isn't deer hair. It's just, you know, for whatever you're tying, you kind of need to. Some hair works for one thing, won't work for another. So this is a piece I've been using for this for quite a while, but it's hollow. It's hollow in the front where I want it to be for that wing that's sticking up, but it's hard where I want to tie it down and where I fold it over for the wing case. Okay.
So thin tips.
Yeah, long black tips, and then where you cut it and tie it in, there's a point where when you pull it over, it's still not hollow and it's hard, so that because the fish will tear that wing case up real quick. But then you want to hit it just right to where it'll kind of flare for the butt for the wing. So you just have to, you know, pick up some deer hair and give it a try. Now this works pretty good for this big. This is like a 14, I think. It doesn't take a whole lot of hair.
Is it more coarse than the last hair?
Yeah, way more. But it's real hard on the tips. But if you see here, you can see where it transitions from the tips to the.
It's a long taper instead of a
Yeah.
short one.
And that might be mule deer there. I'm not sure. So what I want to stack it because I want it all the same consistency on the ends. And I don't care about how the tips are stacked or anything because I'm cutting them off anyway.
So what part did you stack? The
I
butt?
stack the tips, no.
Oh.
But can you see the tips on that stuff?
Almost.
Can you see the black part?
Almost.
Move
There's
your
a lot
finger,
of glare.
move your index finger away a little bit. There you go.
There
Now.
you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm going to cut out most of the black tips. And I want to tie it down kind of in this part in here. And when I fold it over, that part's still going to be hard. It's going to be the wing case. But by the time if I hit it just right when I post the thing, it's going to be the softer part is going to flare. So, and you just have to fiddle with the hair to. Now this part is pretty slippery too. So I don't try to tie it down right at the very end. I try to tie it in more back a little bit because it's going to want to try to slip out of me. Another thing, if you spin your thread in that direction when you go to tie your thread, it's going to pop in that direction rather than try to pop over the end of the hook. And vice versa, if you want it to go the other way, you spin it the other direction. Okay. So I'm going to tie this down. There somewhere. Tie those butts down. And then I'm going to use the super fine for the front because it represents like the dun coming out. The thing you got to think about too, like calabatus, sometimes they're real dark on the top, but they're real light underneath. So this dubbing's probably too dark because it's going to, once it gets wet, it's going to be another 50% darker than it is already. So if you really want to be correct in your colors, you need to use a lighter dubbing than what you think. So this is going to be too much dubbing, I think. We'll see. So I'm just gonna make my little ball here for the thorax. Now at this point, see I'm still on that nice gray part, so that's still fairly hard, but it's starting to get more hollow. I'm going to make a wrap. I'm going to hold everything up on top, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to post it right there. A couple wraps of thread, and that kind of holds it together. And I'm going to come in here and build up my head a little bit. Rip it off. And then better leave it a little bit longer, like Gene was saying, and then you can always trim it off a little more. You get it too short, you can't see them at all in it.
Right.
It's really a bugger. It's easier to see them on the lake that isn't a river too. Way easier. So I'm just going to pull them up fairly tight, and I like to cut them kind of on the same plane that the hook shank is. Like that. And then I'll put a little flex cement down the base and on the wing case too. That's it. It's pretty simple, but it's pretty effective.
Yeah, I like to cut my wings a little longer, and I'll drop it in the water right next to me and see if I think it's too long. If it is, I just grab my scissors and cut it back a little bit. It's easier to, like he says, to cut it. You can always cut it back. You can't add it on. So
Yeah.
I'd rather have it a little too long. I don't think the fish care how long that is.
It's more for you to be able to see it.
Yeah, it's more of your
When it's
indication.
really, man, I used to cut them real short like that.
Yeah,
Then they're hard to see. I mean, they work great, but you get a lot of takes that you're slow on because you got to set up on the swirl. So, but yeah, it's killer.
It's a good fly.
Any mayfly, yeah. You just change colors and sizes. Works great. And that one for Calabasas works good. That's it.
Cool.